In this video, I want to show you how to rationalize the denominator of an irrational fraction. For example, this one, where the denominator will be concentrating on the denominator only. The denominator will be definitely an irrational number. So we want to rationalize the denominator, will be concentrating on the denominator and make sure that the denominator is now a rational number. That's rationalizing the denominator, making the denominator a rational number. So here's our first example. If you look at this one, the denominator is the square root of 2, and the square root of 2 is an irrational number. Now, we want to get rid of this square root sign. So what we do is, if we want to get rid of the square root of 2, we multiply by the square root of 2 in such a way that if we multiply square root of 2 by the square root of 2, we get 2, which is a rational number. So we are going to multiply the denominator by the square root of 2. But if we multiply the denominator by the square root of 2, we also have to multiply the numerator by the square root of 2, so that the value of this fraction will not change like this. Right. If we multiply 3 by root 2, we get 3 root 2. If we multiply root 2 by root 2, we get root 4, which is 2. So this simplifies to 3 root 2 over 2. As simple as this. We've rationalized the denominator. In this case, the denominator is 2. We are concentrating on the denominator only because we are rationalizing the denominator. So we concentrate on this denominator, which was root 2. It is now 2, which is a rational number. So we have rationalized the denominator. Let's move on to the next example. Example 2. Want to rationalize the denominator of this type, 1 plus root 2. Right. From our previous videos on Surds, we once discussed about the multiplication of an irrational number by its conjugate, and the product of an irrational number by its conjugate is always a rational number. So that's the concept that we are going to use here. We are going to multiply the denominator by the conjugate of this denominator, which is 1 minus root 2. But what we do in the denominator is exactly the same that with what we are going to do in the numerator. So we are going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of 1 plus root 2, which is 1 minus root 2, like this. Right. We are multiplying by 1 minus root 2 over 1 minus root 2, so that we are multiplying this fraction, the whole of this fraction, by 1, so that the actual value of this fraction will not change. So if we multiply 2 by 1, we get 2. 2 by root 2, we get 2 root 2. Right. In the denominator, from our previous videos on Surds, we have seen that if we are multiplying an irrational number by its conjugate, you simply square the first number minus the square of the second number. So we are going to square 1 minus 2 squared, root 2 squared, like this. And this simplifies to root 2 minus 2 root 2 over minus 1, and this simply reduces to minus 2 plus 2 root 2, and that's the answer. Right, let's move on to our third example. Right, likewise, we are going to multiply. We only concentrate on the denominator. So we want to rationalize this denominator. So we are going to multiply the whole of this fraction by the conjugate of this denominator divided by itself, like this. Right, the conjugate of root 3 minus root 2 is root 3 plus root 2. We discussed this in video, if I'm not mistaken, video 4. Right. So if we multiply root 3 by root 3, we get 3. Root 3 by root 2, we get root 6. So this simplifies to root 3 by root 3, we get 3. Root 3 by root 2, we get root 6. Done with the numerator. Moving on to the denominator, we simply square root 3 minus the square of root 2, like this. The square of root 3 is 3. The square of root 2 is 2. And 3 minus 2 is 1. So this simplifies to 3 plus root 6 over 1. Right. Here is your exercise. I want you to try these questions. Try to rationalize the denominator. Then after that, I will give you the answers. So you can pause this video for a few seconds. Then you'll see the answers. Right, here are your answers. You can now check with the answers. Thank you very much for watching.